The Commission today has adopted a recommendation where we recommend the two main actions that should be taken by Schengen member states and Schengen associated countries. First is on internal borders. We recommend and call on these member states and Schengen associated countries to lift all internal border restrictions that have been in place according to the COVID-19 situation. We do that because we know now we are in a good situation where the pandemic situation is increasing rapidly in all member states and converging. It's been better and better. We have also the report from ECDC telling us that border restrictions inside the European Union and in the Schengen area is not an effective way to deal with the pandemic right now. And we are also in a good situation where in all member states, the containment measures like social distancing is in place. So that's why we call on all these countries to lift all the internal border controls on Monday. I must say that most of them are already on their way. All countries have taken decisions or are announced that they are going to lift, but still there are some borders that have not been announced yet to be lifted, and the controls have not been announced to be lifted, so we call on them to do that. Why do we do that? We do that because now it's also time to start a discussion on how to lift the external borders. We have now a recommendation where there should be travel restrictions for non-essential travel on the external borders, and that will end on Monday. We had a discussion in the Council of Home Affairs, and there was very strong support that we should make a short prolonging of these restrictions on non-essential traveling on external countries. That's why we now recommend that we should prolong the temporary restrictions on non-essential travel into the EU until the 13th of June, another 2 weeks. And for sure, it's not yet possible to have a general lifting of the travel restrictions at all external borders to the European Union, but it's coming to a situation where we have to start gradually to do that from the 1st of July. This will apply to all third countries which are in a similar or better situation as compared to the EU as regard their health situation. And these measures are about travel into the EU only. But of course, the most important thing is to protect the protection of public health. This is the most important priority for the EU and its member states. So we are taking these measures so that health is protected at the same time as Europeans can see loved ones across borders and people can go back to work across borders in more and more countries. This has to be done in a coordinated manner, and this is also what member states strongly are asking for. And I should guess this is going to be quite difficult road ahead to get this coordinated approach. And that's why we also today have presented some criteria that we should use when setting up a list of countries where we should gradually open the external borders. These criteria should be, of course, first, epidemiological situation in a third country. And I know that sometimes it's difficult to have the proper statistics from every country, but this still is the most important thing. Second is the containment measures while traveling. This must also be in place to be able to open up for a third country. And third is the reciprocity, so that if we open up from traveling into the EU, we expect that this country should open up for the traveling from our countries to that country. And that has to be applied for all the EU member states and Schengen associated countries. We propose that together with member states, that the member states should set up a list of countries where it should be open for them, residents in their countries, to travel into the European Union. This list, of course, hopefully can be longer and longer and longer and have more and more countries on it, but that has to be taken gradually. To set up this list, we will help member states to find a common way forward, and we will do that in the IPCR, the crisis organization in the Council. And we also will start with a discussion with the member states on a technical level today to set up this first list. The Commission itself, we propose that the Western Balkan states should be on the list already on the 1st of July. It's, of course, a decision of a member state how they will manage their borders, but we in the Commission are happy to facilitate this and help member states to have this coordinated approach. But may I also underline, this is not only about borders, it's also about individuals, how we all apply to the containment measures, to the social distancing, to protect ourselves, and to protect our loved ones, and to protect others. This is still, we are still in a pandemic, and we are still have to continue following these restrictions. Thank you.